Alright, well friends, this is a second part to these videos. I don't know if there will be a third. There might be, if I can get it all in there, which I don't think I will. Like I said, I'm trying to shorten my videos down to keep people's interest. But now this one's going to be about 2D sonar and why I use some of the settings I do. Okay? So y'all hang in there and hopefully y'all are going to enjoy this or get something out of it at least. Alright, let me try to explain sonar to you really quick. This is a 2D sonar. This is your boat, and this is the water line. Here's your transducer. If you're running a dual transducer, if it says dual transducer, then you will have 200 kilohertz and 83 kilohertz. 2D sonar comes out as a cone shaped, okay? It's cone shaped, and the 200 kilohertz has a ratio of 3:1. So in other words, for every foot of depth, every 3 foot of depth from the transducer to the bottom of that lake, you will be looking at a 1 foot circumference. That's what you're viewing on the screen, is just a 1 foot circumference, okay? Now if you're at 9 foot of depth, if it's 9 feet from the transducer to the bottom of the lake, remember it's 3:1. So if it's 9 foot deep, then you will be looking at a 3 foot circumference, okay? That's not that's like from the center of the sonar there, that's going to be 1.5 feet from the center out every direction, and that's it. It's not a big area, okay? So if you're in 15 foot of water, you will be looking, if it's 15 foot from the bottom of that transducer to the bottom of that lake, then you will be looking at a 5 foot circumference, okay? Remember, it's 3:1. That's on 200 kilohertz. If you're at 83 kilohertz, if you're using the 83 kilohertz, then the ratio is 1:1. So for every foot of water of depth, you will be looking at a 1 foot circumference. So it's equal. If it's 10 foot depth, then you're looking at a 10 foot circumference. All right. Okay. Remember that 200 kilohertz is the ratio is 3:1 depth to circumference, and on the 83 kilohertz, it's equal to your depth. Your circumference is equal to your depth, okay? Okay, to start this off, this is 2D, okay? This is a 2D screen. This is a down imaging DI screen. And that is going to be your side imaging screen. I'm just going to make it bigger, so wider, so you can see. But that is the 3 screens, okay? Now then, on your 2D screen, let's see here. Switch fire mode is on clear. If you did not have that on clear, you would get all this jumbled mess in there. See, I don't need all that. I want my screen clear. I want to be able to see the fish in there. But that's about what you would see with that's what it looks like. Now you can clear it up some, but I don't want to be messing with that. I want my screen to be clear like this. So that's my switch fire. I'll put it on clear, okay? RTS window, I've got it off. Now RTS window, the reason I turn it off is I've got no need for it. I just people like that on. Some people like it. I have no need. I want full screen. I want to be able to see my full screen. I don't want my screen cluttered up. So that's why I turn that off. Okay, that is the RTS window. Okay, I turn it off. Next is going to be bottom view structure. You can structure ID. If I turn that off, that's what the bottom looks like. I don't care for that. Me personally, you might. That's your preference. Like I said here, I'm showing you what does what and why I have things. Zoom width. That's wide. The reason that is for down imaging, I'll get to that here in a second, but there's a reason I had that on wide. depth lines. That's these lines here. It tells you the depth, how deep your everything is. Okay, if I turn them off, them lines will go away. I want them lines, I need them lines to tell me the depth that the fish are on, how big that structure is off the bottom, how tall that structure is and stuff. Those are good. To me, that's a good thing to have. So I keep mine on. Okay, now we've come down to the color bar. That color bar, I have it off. I have no idea why this is even there. Someone might be able to explain it, one of my viewers, but that's a color bar that comes up here. That is just taken away from your screen size. I don't know. I don't use it. I have no idea what it's for, really. So I turn that off. Temperature graph. Okay, now we've come to a temperature graph. Graph is right up there. It pops up, tells you temperature. I've never used it. I don't have a need for it because I've got my temperature right down here in the bottom in the corner. So I don't know why I would need that graph. So I just leave it off. Okay. All right, my friends. One thing I did want to show you here was in setup. Go to digital readout overlay. I had that in overlay, and the reason being is this right over here. If I put it in boxes, that comes up. You see how that turns gray and it has all that in there, or off. Now I do want my readings, so I put it in overlay. I don't like my screen cluttered. I like it clean, and this is the cleanest way for me because I don't like all this. I want to be able to see if I miss something. I want to be able to look back across my screen and see everything I need to see. Okay, here you see it covers it up. It blocks it off. So I keep it in overlay. It gets rid of all that. Okay.